What is going on, X community? Exostomp here, and today, people, we are going to be going over our UTA Season 5 draft analysis. So, for people that are wondering that have been looking on this channel, we haven't done a UTA draft yet, so this is going to be pretty interesting. I wanted to build a sort of like a bulky offense team, or like a mixed. You guys will see what I built, but I was pretty happy with this draft, but let's just get right into it. So our first pick that we got was Mega Venusaur. So I sort of wanted to draft around Mega Venusaur. I felt like it would be really fun to do. And sorry, I'm just gonna lower this down in my ears. Because I've never really used it before. I used Mega Venusaur like in my playthrough of X and Y, but I never actually used it competitively, really. Its stats are pretty good. It is a tier 1 mega, which makes sense. But I usually don't go for the tier 1 megas. I usually go for like Mega Glalie most of the time. So yeah, I wanted to try something different. It only has 2 weaknesses, being Flying and Psychic, which is pretty good. Of course, with Thick Fat, it loses its Fire and Ice weakness. Still doesn't necessarily want to switch directly into Fire and Ice moves, but still pretty decent. Fact number 2 is that it now has Earth Power and Weather Ball, which is pretty cool. It also does have Grassy Glide. That's a priority, but I don't think I'm ever going to be using that. But Earth Power is pretty cool, because now I can hit stuff like Fire types, and they can't hit me super effectively, which is nice. And Weather Ball is decent because there are I think 2 sand teams, which is pretty interesting. But yeah. For our next pick, if I could find it, there it is, we have Corviknight. So, the reason why we picked up Corviknight is because Steel and Flying types work very well together with Mega Venusaur. Great synergy because Corviknight resists both Psychic and Flying, which is awesome. As well as it's a great hazard remover and pivot Pokemon. We do want to have a decent amount of pivot on this team so that we can pivot around certain Pokemon, certain physical and special threats on our team. So this was a tier 1B Pokemon, which means it's 160 points. Right below me, you could see how many points we have left, which is 720. So yeah, I think its stats are really good. I did want to get Celesteela or Skarmory over Corviknight, but Corviknight is the only one that has pivot, so I was fine with it. So yeah, this next pick I picked because I really wanted to use this draft. It was a tier 4 pick, which is insane in my opinion, and that is actually Zoroark. So we picked up Zoroark because, like I said, I just really wanted to use it. It was a tier 4, which is insane. And its speed tier is really good. 105 means that it outspeeds all the base 100, which is nice. And it can be physical or special, which is awesome. And it has great coverage moves. It has Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower, Sucker Punch for priority. I know it has, I believe it has Shadow Ball as well. So yeah, it has a decent amount of moves in its move pool. And that means that it's a really good Z-move Pokemon. And this is actually our first Z-move Pokemon that we picked up. So, yeah. Now we have 660 points left. Plus, actually, I forgot to say this, Zoroark works really well with Venusaur, because if we have Zoroark in, and they think we're actually Mega Venusaur, or Venusaur in general, they will go for a Psychic move, or a Flying move, but let's say they're a Psychic type. And that won't work, because we got Zoroark, so yeah, that's pretty interesting. We can play around that, that's gonna be fun. But for our next Pokemon, we have Seismitoad. So this is my favorite core. Corviknight Seismitoad is like my favorite core. Great synergy because its only weakness is Grass, which Corviknight 4 times resists. And then Skarmory is weak to Fire and Electric, which, well, Electric, Seismitoad is immune. And Fire, it resists it. So they're really good. And now we have like our main bulk. I know it sort of looks a little stally at first, but you guys will see it. I mix it up. I needed the Corv, Seismitoad, Mega Venusaur to sort of make a great core with that. But yeah, this is our first rocker on our team, which is good, and it was a tier 3. So, and I definitely wanted to bring it back because in GPL Season 1, I loved using this thing, and I can use Refresh, so that's going to be fun to bring. But yeah, for our next Pokemon, we have Gardevoir. So, main reason why I wanted to use Gardevoir, this was sort of a last minute thing. I was thinking about grabbing a Aromatisse because I wanted a decent Wish Passer, but then I was thinking, I don't necessarily need Wish Passing if I have like Leech Seed. I got Roost on Corv, but if I do want Wish, Gardevoir does have it, and also has Healing Wish. This was another tier 3. It has Trace, which is really awesome, and it has a ton of good moves in its move pool. It's got Mystical Fire, it's got freaking Triple Axle now, it's got Energy Ball, Shadow Ball, it has Moonblast, which is good for a Fairy type. Yeah, it's got a ton of good moves, which is going to be really fun to use, and definitely a really good not Fire type, definitely a really good Fairy type. Great Spadef, so it can be a Spadef wall. It's also a good special attacker, so this thing is a really good threat, especially throwing on an AV. Looking at you, Burger. This thing can be very annoying to take down. And for our next Pokemon, we have Rotom. So Rotom's pretty cool because at this point we had Corv, which was Defog. We now have Rotom, which also is a Defogger. And it's another Pivotmon, which is awesome. I forgot to mention, Gardevoir does have Teleport, so that could be an option for that. But it's also pretty good speed-wise. With 91, it's not the worst. I did want a Ghost type and a fastish Electric type, which Rotom does cover. It's immune to 3 types, being Normal, Fighting, and Ground. And it is also immune to Thunder Wave, which is really nice. And also it has new moves, which is Nasty Plot, Stored Power, it even has Poltergeist. It has 50 attack, but it has Poltergeist, just pretty unique. And it was a tier 4, so I was like, sure. It covers all my bases that I sort of wanted, so that's fine. But yeah, speaking about covering bases, our next 2 picks are... I wanted more hazards, because right now we only have Seismitoad setting up rocks, so we picked up Nidoking. I was looking at Nidoqueen, but that was picked up, I believe, the round before. So I was like, well, alright, we still have Nidoking here. It shares a lot of moves with Zoroark, which is great, because if I have Nidoking in, or if I have Zoroark in, and I use Shadow Ball or Flamethrower, and they think I'm actually Nidoking, they might go for a Psychic move, thinking that I am Zoroark, or that I am Nidoking, and I'm actually Zoroark, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we are duplicating typings, being a ground and poison when you already have ground and poison, but Nidoking fills in the roles a little bit differently, being that it's more offensive, and it does have Toxic Spikes, which Venusaur doesn't have, as well as more rocks, which is always really good. But yeah, it can be very offensive with Sheer Force and stuff, so that's going to be fun to use. Right now we have 280 points left, so we're going to have to be a little... We have to go like a little bit lower, so I went to the tier 5s, and let's check out Colossal. So tier 5 Colossal, this is insane. This thing was only 40 points. Look at those stats. Yes, it is 4 times weak to water and ground, but ground most of the time is physical, and with that defense and HP stat, it more often than not is going to live a hit, especially if it's invested. But if it's, let's say, a water type is in, I can go into Seismitoad because it has Water Absorb. So, pretty cool. I really like Colossal. I've never really been able to use it very well, so hopefully I can. It has Spikes, Rocks, and Rapid Spin, which is great, because we definitely needed some more of that. And yeah, like I said, it was a tier 5, didn't have a Fire type yet, so I was like, perfect, I'll grab it before anyone else can. So yeah. Plus, there wasn't many Fire types left, so I was like, this works. It's tier 5. Then, I wanted to use this Pokemon. I was looking at it, and I don't think it's the best, but it's surprising how many moves it gets, and that is going to be Ambipom. So, Ambipom, our fastest Pokemon on our team at 115. It's a tier 4, which is really nice, and it surprisingly has great utility. Let me actually bring up the utility, and I'll list a few here. So we have, for utility options, I don't know if you count Fake Out, but it has Foul Play. It's got Knockoff, which is always nice. It has Nasty Plot, Baton Pass, which is interesting. It has Pursuit Trapping, which is fun. It's got Taunt. It's got Thunder Wave. It's got U-Turn for Pivot. It's got some really fun moves in here. So yeah, it's really interesting and is surprisingly really unique. Yeah, there was Cincino in tier 4. It was sniped before me, but I wanted to grab Ambipom. So I'm actually really happy that I was able to get it. And for our last pick, we weren't able to get sniped, so I was happy about that. And that is going to be, since if you look on our team, we don't have a dragon type, and we have 180 points left, and we have one pick left. So that is going to be a tier 1A Como. So we grabbed Como. I was thinking about maybe grabbing 11 or 12 Pokemon, because you can do that in this league. But I decided against it because Como was still there, and I really think Como with this team works very well. With these cores work really well, but it has a wide range of movesets. Being it can go physical, special, can be offensive, defensive, has a ton of moves, is a great Z-move user because it, like I said, it has a ton of moves. It could be set up with Autotomize, it could be set up with, it's Bulk Up, it has Scale Shot, it's got Swords Dance, it could be a taunt and like a defensive Pokemon, like with Body Press and Taunt and all that kind of stuff. So this Pokemon is really good. It sort of rounds out our team very well. And I think our Fairy Dragon Steel Core is probably one of the stronger in the actual draft, because yeah, Gardevoir is a tier 3, but it's one of the better fairy types. With Trace, it is extremely good. I mean, you could do so many things with Gardevoir. So I really like this team. I think this is one of my favorite teams that I have built. But yeah, I think I may make videos on this. I'm looking for like maybe 20 likes. If we can get 20 likes on this video, I will definitely be uploading all of the videos for the UTA. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. See you guys next time. Peace.